So obviously Elvis Presley is one of the biggest and best artists of all time, and nobody embraces Christmas like Elvis does, maybe except for Clark Griswold or Kevin McAllister or something like that. But I thought it'd be fun this year to talk about his big Christmas album. Now he has a few of them, but like his main one is from 1957. It just says Elvis's Christmas Album. That's what it's called. The cover will be on the screen. I already showed that. And I thought in this video it'd be fun to make a tier list about it. Now, where am I? Well, I am in Costa Rica right now. It may not look like it, but it's night. That's why I am filming the video. I don't have my camera, so I'm going to use my phone just for the intro here. The rest will be just screen record and stuff because I don't have enough storage. Let me be completely honest here. But you know what? Oh well. I think this will be fun because it's Christmas time. We have, 5 days until Christmas, and I'm just going to use a tier list that just has numbers. It will be like the track list, but I'm going to say the song name and everything. They just don't have one already, and I don't know how to make an individual one myself. So without further ado, let's get into this. Remember, this is just my opinion. I know that a lot of people that will find this will be older who absolutely love Elvis, and I think that's great. That's really awesome. I haven't talked about Elvis on the channel before, but he's amazing, and you guys all know that. Let's get into this. All right, let's do this. It starts off with Santa Claus is Back in Town, obviously a really big one, so I'm going to go with track number 1, and I'm going to put this on the B tier. Now, a lot of people will get mad at me and stuff like that because they're going to be like, oh, every Elvis song deserves to be in the A or S tier, and that makes sense. Of course, this is a very iconic song. Obviously, it's one of the most iconic ones out there for all of Christmas, not just Elvis, but there isn't something about this song that pushes it above the other versions, although Elvis's vocals are great here. Obviously, I'm going to say that basically every single song for this video, and the drums here also really stood out to me. Next up is White Christmas. Now, this one may be a little controversial. I'm going to put this in the C tier. Now, it's almost experimental in a way. I find that this song, there we go, seems a little bit different just in what Elvis is doing with his voice, and it's very impressive, and with the background singers and everything like that, it's pretty cool, but I do prefer some other versions. I can't pinpoint exact ones, but there are definitely some that I prefer. Next up is Here Comes Santa Claus. Now, this song has God tier vocals, and yes, do they all? Obviously, it's Elvis Presley, one of the greatest singers of all time, but this one, I feel like his vocals really stood out to me. There are other tracks, I will say, that have probably the best vocals on it, but this one is definitely up there, one of the best. And then I'll Be Home from Christmas is number 4, and this one is our first A tier song because Elvis gets really low in his register here, and it's so calming. Like, I find this song insanely calming just because of the vocals alone. Obviously, the whole idea of being home for Christmas and stuff is great, and yes, I'm saying this from a place where it's 32 degrees Celsius out right now, or at least in the day, but it's one that if you listen to this in front of a warm fire when snow is falling, it'd just be perfectly calming. Now, number 5 is Blue Christmas, and if you thought I was putting this in something other than the S tier, then you're wrong, because this is possibly the best Christmas song of all time. Everything on this track is just perfect. I know there may be other Christmas songs that are more iconic, you could say more popular, just widely because they've been covered by so many people, but for me, this is like the perfect Christmas song. You have a guitar kind of melody, you could say, the do-dum boom, and it works perfectly, where I'm not going to explain how it goes on guitar, and I sadly don't have my guitar here to show you, but this song, it really stands out to me. Out of all Christmas songs, I feel like maybe it's because it's by Elvis, it probably is the reason, but he's really the only person I could see performing this song, because on a lot of the Christmas songs, so many people can perform them, but this is an Elvis Christmas song. It is a perfect example of that. And now we're going to jump down to Santa Bring My Baby Back, and this one does go in the C tier. Now, it's good. It has a good swing to it, and the vocal performances from everybody from Elvis, the background singers, and all that are very good. I'm just not really that familiar with it, so I feel like that's why it gets a little bit of a lower rating, although there are not even anything close to a bad song on here. And then we have, what is this, number 7? I should just look down there and see that. Oh Little Town of Bethlehem. I think I'm saying that right. No, he says it in the song, but I listened to it a few hours ago. And I don't know if I've heard this song before. I probably have, but like I haven't heard it in the last few years. And it's so calming and peaceful, so that's why it goes in the A tier, because I don't know, there was something that was really special about it, I guess, because I didn't really know anything about it, so it kind of surprised me. It was definitely the biggest shocker. Actually, it was the second biggest shocker of the album, because that next one is the biggest shocker here. It's one of the most famous Christmas songs out there. Silent Night goes also in the S tier, and this song alone is one of the prime examples of how Elvis was one of the best singers and had one of the best voices ever. His voice on this track is unbelievable. I mean, this was the 50s, and we of course we always have great singers. You'll always have great singers, but this is proof that he's one of the best of all time. This song alone, it's one of the biggest Christmas songs, but he does it justice. This has got to be my favorite version of him. And this next song, Peace in the Valley, is number 9. I'm going to put it in the B tier just because I'm not too familiar with this song, but it is solid. And since I'm not a religious person, it didn't really connect with me like it would with other people, but it does have some of the best vocals on the album all around, I feel. But again, I'm not a religious person, so you'll hear me say that a few more times in this video. And this next song is called I Believe. Again, I wasn't too familiar with it. I'm not going to put it on the S tier. I'm putting it on the A tier. And it's hard to decide what the best track on the album is vocally, but this is probably a strong contender. The roaring drum buildup is also fantastic too, and what you would probably consider the chorus. It really stood out to me. And then Take My Hand, Precious Lord, I put like high C / low B, so I'm gonna put it in I would put it at the start of the C tier here. And it's another one that's really hard for me to rate because I mean it's in the title, but it's a very religious song, just like some of the other ones. But it's called Take My Hand, Precious Lord. So there's definitely moments in the song where I can't really connect, but it's still solid. And then finally, It Is No Secret. And for me, this is the weakest song on the album. This is also a C tier. I mean, look at this. There's nothing below a C tier. And the only reason some of these are down here are just because I'm not really that familiar with them or they don't connect with me. I mean, the vocals are really great. And I say that with everything. And it's a solid song. I bet the lyrics mean a lot to some people. But one thing I do really appreciate about the song is that it doesn't take away from the rest of the album. When albums or movies or something kind of end on a bad, or not bad, but weaker note, it sometimes can leave a sour taste in your mouth. But for this song, and I mean, it closed off the album and I didn't think it was bad. It was the weakest one for me. But when you look at some of these songs, it has Blue Christmas and Silent Night, which I think this is obviously the definitive version of Blue Christmas. And Silent Night, in my opinion, this is probably the best one I've heard. But I'm interested to know, what do you think of all these? Do you think they all deserve to go in S or all deserve to go in A tier? What is your favorite song here? Let's do top 3, because I feel like a lot of your favorites will be Blue Christmas. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.